What if I told you that your thoughts right now are determining the size of your future bank account? What if just one shift in mindset could change your career forever? Sounds incredible? Then stay until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you scientifically proven ways how your mind can become your most powerful tool for achieving success. Let's go. Imagine two equally talented people. They have the same education, similar experience, identical starting conditions. But 5 years later, one of them is running a successful company, while the other is still complaining about lack of opportunities. What's the difference? The difference is that the first person understood the main secret of success. Our thoughts literally create our reality. And this isn't just beautiful words from motivational books. This is a scientifically proven fact that neuropsychologists around the world are studying. Let's start from the very beginning. What is the psychology of success? It's understanding how our brain works when we achieve goals. It's knowledge about which mental processes lead to prosperity and which lead to stagnation. The first thing you need to understand, your brain doesn't distinguish between reality and vivid mental images. When you imagine success in all its details, your nervous system begins preparing for it. It forms new neural connections that will guide your actions toward achieving this goal. Take a concrete example. Elon Musk dreamed of space travel as a child. He didn't just dream, he visualized every detail. And what do we see today? SpaceX is sending people to space. Coincidence? This is the result of correct thinking. But here's an important nuance. Not all thoughts equally influence our lives. There are 3 types of thinking that either bring us closer to success or push us away from it. The first type is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Carol Dweck, a Stanford University professor, proved that people with a growth mindset believe abilities can be developed. They perceive failures as lessons, not as verdicts. People with a fixed mindset believe talents are given from birth and don't change. They fear challenges because failure means they're not good enough. This fear paralyzes their potential. The second type is positive versus negative thinking. And no, I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm talking about realistic optimism. This is the ability to see problems but focus on solutions. Martin Seligman conducted research among insurance agents. Those who explain failures with temporary and specific causes. Today isn't my day. This client wasn't right. Sold more than those who blame themselves. I'm a bad salesperson. I never succeeded anything. The third type is abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. Stephen Covey described this concept in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. People with an abundance mindset believe there are enough opportunities for everyone. They're ready to collaborate, share knowledge, invest in others. People with a scarcity mindset believe resources are limited. If someone won, it means they lost. This thinking creates internal tension and blocks creative solutions. Now let's talk about how these types of thinking affect specific areas of life. Let's start with career. Your thoughts about work directly influence your productivity. If every morning you think, "This boring job again," your brain adjusts to minimal effort. You do only what's required and no more. But if you think, "What value can I bring today?" your brain starts looking for opportunities for growth and improvement. You become the employee that managers notice. Ray Dalio, founder of the largest hedge fund Bridgewater, started as an ordinary trader, but he thought not as an executor, but as a business owner. He constantly asked himself, "How can I do this better?" This mental attitude led him to create a company worth $140 billion. Moving on to financial well-being. Psychology plays a decisive role here. Many people have toxic beliefs about money that they don't even realize. Money is evil. Rich people are dishonest. I'm not meant to be rich. These thoughts program your subconscious for poverty. If you internally reject wealth, your brain will sabotage any attempts to achieve it. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She grew up in poverty but always believed she deserved more. She visualized her success when she had nothing yet. This belief became the foundation of her media empire. But how specifically do thoughts influence income? Through actions. People with an abundance mindset look for opportunities for additional earnings. They invest in their education, develop skills, build useful connections. People with a scarcity mindset save on everything, including investments in themselves. They're afraid to take risks, miss opportunities, complain about circumstances. This approach guarantees financial stagnation. Now let's talk about how to change your mindset. The first step is awareness. You must honestly evaluate your current mental patterns. Keep a thought journal for a week. Write down what you think about work, money, opportunities. You'll be surprised to discover negative attitudes you weren't even aware of. The second step is replacement. Every negative thought needs to be consciously replaced with a positive one. But not just "I'm rich," but specific and realistic statements. I'm developing skills that increase my value in the job market. The third step is visualization. Spend 10 to 15 minutes daily on detailed imagination of your goals. See yourself successful. Feel the emotions from achievements. Imagine specific details. Jim Carrey, when he was a struggling actor, wrote himself a check for $10 million and carried it in his wallet. He constantly visualized the moment when he would receive such an amount for a movie role. And you know what? That's exactly how much he received for Dumb and Dumber. The fourth step is environment. Your thoughts are formed under the influence of people you spend time with. If you're surrounded by pessimists and losers, their thinking will influence yours. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Surround yourself with successful, ambitious people. Read biographies of leaders, listen to motivational podcasts. The fifth step is action. Thinking without action is just dreams, but correct thinking motivates correct actions. Start small, but act consistently. Richard Branson started by selling magazines, but he thought like an entrepreneur from day one. Each small success strengthened his self-belief and motivated him toward bigger goals. The result is the Virgin Group empire. It's important to understand, changing mindset isn't a one-time event, but a daily practice. Your brain has been forming certain patterns your whole life. It will take time and constant effort to change them. But here's the good news. Modern neuroscience proves that the brain is plastic at any age. You can form new neural connections, even if you're 50, 60, or 70 years old. Let's look at specific techniques. The first is affirmations. This isn't self-hypnosis, but a tool for reprogramming the subconscious. By repeating positive statements, you literally change your brain structure. But affirmations must be correct. Not "I am rich," if this is obviously untrue, but "I daily develop skills that will lead me to financial freedom." The second technique is the "what if" technique. Instead of "this is impossible," ask "what if this is possible? How would I do it?" This simple shift in focus activates the brain's creative resources. The third technique is gratitude. People who regularly practice gratitude are more optimistic and successful. They focus on what they have, not on what they lack. The fourth technique is smart goal setting. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals give the brain clear direction. But there's one mistake many people make. They think positive thinking means ignoring problems. This isn't so. Successful people acknowledge difficulties, but focus on finding solutions. Bill Gates didn't ignore competition with Apple, but instead of complaining, he concentrated on how to make Windows better. This mental attitude helped Microsoft become one of the world's most valuable companies. Now let's talk about fears. Fear of failure is the main enemy of success. It paralyzes actions and makes you settle for mediocrity. But what if you change your attitude toward failures? What if you perceive them as data for analysis? Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb on his first try. He had thousands of failed experiments. But he said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work." Successful entrepreneurs don't fear failures. They use them. Every mistake provides valuable information about what needs to be changed. Another important aspect is patience. In an era of instant gratification, many expect quick results, but real success requires time. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in a garage in 1994. The company wasn't profitable for the first several years. Many thought he was crazy, but he believed in the long-term perspective. Today, Amazon is one of the world's most valuable companies. It's also important to understand the connection between thinking and habits. Your daily habits are the physical manifestation of your thoughts. If you think like a successful person, you automatically develop success habits. Successful people wake up early, invest time in learning, take care of their health, build useful connections. These habits don't arise by chance. They follow from correct thinking. Now let's talk about specific exercises for developing success mindset. The first exercise is called the Wheel of Life. Draw a circle and divide it into 8 sectors: career, finances, health, relationships, personal growth, entertainment, contribution to society, spirituality. Rate each area from 1 to 10. Where you have low scores, you have limiting beliefs. For example, if career is at 3, ask yourself, what thoughts are preventing me from achieving professional growth? The second exercise is the 5 whys technique. When you encounter a problem, ask, why is this happening? 5 times in a row. You'll get to the root cause, which often lies in your beliefs. For example, I'm not getting promoted. Why? Because my boss doesn't value me. Why? Because I don't show initiative. Why? Because I'm afraid to make mistakes. Why? Because I think failure will make me look worse in colleagues' eyes. There it is, the limiting belief. The third exercise is letter from future self. Imagine that in 5 years you've achieved all your goals. Write a letter to your present self. Describe how you live, what you feel, what decisions led to success. This exercise activates your subconscious and makes the brain look for ways to realize this future. Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, regularly practiced similar visualization when she worked selling fax machines. Today, she's a billionaire. The fourth exercise is reframing. Take any problem in your life and find at least 3 opportunities in it. Lost your job? Opportunity to find a better position? Start your own business. Gain new skills. Richard Branson said, "Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. But you can only see these opportunities with the right mindset." The fifth exercise is modeling. Choose a person who has achieved what you want. Study their biography, interviews, books. How did they think at the beginning of their journey? What decisions did they make? What habits did they develop? Warren Buffett in his youth studied all materials about Benjamin Graham, his idol in investing. He didn't just copy strategies, but absorbed the way of thinking. The result, he became one of the richest people on the planet. Important point, not all problems are solved only by positive thinking. Sometimes you need specific skills, knowledge, resources. But correct thinking is the foundation that motivates you to acquire these skills. Steve Jobs didn't become successful only through visualization. He learned, experimented, failed, perfected products. But his vision of the future and belief in the possibility of changing the world gave him strength to continue. Now let's talk about common thinking traps. The first is imposter syndrome. This is when you think you don't deserve your achievements, that it's accident or luck. This syndrome affects even very successful people. Maya Angelou, the famous writer, said, I have written 11 books, but each time I think, oh, they're gonna find out now. I've run a game on everybody. How to fight imposter syndrome? Keep an achievement diary. Write down even small victories, compliments, positive feedback. Reread during moments of doubt. The second trap is analysis paralysis. This is when you endlessly study, plan, prepare, but don't act. Perfectionism becomes an excuse for procrastination. Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, said, "If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. The perfect moment never comes. Start with what you have and improve as you go." The third trap is comparison with others. Social media exacerbates this problem. We see others' achievements and start doubting ourselves. But we compare our inner reality with others' external picture. Theodore Roosevelt said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." Compare yourself only with your yesterday self. The only person you need to become better than is yourself. The fourth trap is victim mentality. This is when you blame all problems on circumstances, other people, government, economy. This thinking deprives you of power over your own life. Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, was rejected by dozens of companies, including KFC. He wasn't even accepted into the police, but he didn't blame the system or discrimination. He focused on what he could control, his skills and efforts. The fifth trap is all or nothing thinking. This is when you think if you can't do something perfectly, it's better not to do it at all. Or if one plan didn't work, you're a complete failure. Remember, success isn't a linear process. It consists of many small steps, setbacks, adjustments. What matters isn't speed, but direction and consistency. Now let's talk about the role of emotions in success. Many think emotions interfere with rational decisions, but research shows people with high emotional intelligence are more successful in career and business. Emotions are information about what's important to us. Fear can warn of danger, but it can also signal that something significant is ahead. Joy shows we're on the right path. Daniel Goleman in his research proved emotional intelligence is more important than IQ for achieving success. The ability to manage your emotions and understand others' emotions are key leadership skills. How to develop emotional intelligence? Start with self-awareness. Several times a day, stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why? Don't judge emotions, just observe. Practice empathy. Try to understand what other people feel. This will improve your relationships and make you more influential. Learn to regulate emotions. Don't suppress them, but don't let them control your decisions. Breathing techniques, meditation, physical exercise help with this. Another important aspect is the role of stress in success. A little stress mobilizes resources and increases productivity. But chronic stress destroys health and interferes with making right decisions. Successful people know how to turn stress into energy for action. They perceive pressure as a challenge, not as a threat. This fundamentally changes the body's physiological reaction. Kelly McGonigal in her research showed people who consider stress beneficial live longer and achieve greater success. It's all about perception. Let's also talk about the importance of mentorship. Almost all successful people had mentors. A mentor isn't just a teacher, but a person who helps form correct thinking. Bill Gates called Warren Buffett his mentor. Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou. Mark Zuckerberg learned from Steve Jobs. Mentors transmit not only knowledge, but also way of thinking. If you don't have a personal mentor, create a virtual board of directors. Study books, interviews, lectures of those you admire. Ask yourself, what would name of your idol do in this situation? Don't forget about physical health either. The brain is an organ, and it needs proper nutrition, sleep, physical exercise. Chronic sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, lack of movement negatively affect cognitive abilities. Many successful entrepreneurs are fans of a healthy lifestyle. Richard Branson exercises every morning. Tim Cook gets up at 4:30 a.m. to make it to the gym. They understand the connection between physical and mental health. The last but important point is the role of gratitude in forming successful thinking. Gratitude reprograms the brain to look for positive moments instead of negative ones. Keep a gratitude diary. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be major events or small things: sunny weather, delicious coffee, a stranger's smile. Oprah Winfrey kept such a diary for many years. She says this practice fundamentally changed her life and helped achieve incredible heights. Remember, changing mindset is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days when old patterns return. This is normal. What's important is not to give up and continue working on yourself. Remember, your thoughts are the seeds of your future. What you think today determines where you'll be in 5 years. Start changing your mindset right now and you'll see how your life changes. If this video was helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And in the comments, write what mental blocks are preventing you from achieving success. See you in the next video.